This is Basketball More Than a Game with your hosts, Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Now here are Coaches G and Q.
All right, this is Coach Goins, and you are dialed in to another fast break episode of Basketball More Than the Game. I'm excited. Coach Q.
Hey, what's going on, Coach G? You want to know what's popping with Coach Q?
Yeah, go ahead and tell everybody what's popping with us.
Well, Coach Q is so excited about our very special guest via telephone is NBA Hall of Famer Ralph Sampson. And after this short break, we're going to come right back and have a life skills and success conversation with Mr. Sampson. So make sure those sneakers are laced up tight.
That we are so excited about our guests, and we've said that, but we want to welcome NBA Hall of Famer, 1983 graduate of the University of Virginia, Mr. Ralph Sampson. Welcome to Basketball More in the Game.
Two coaches instead of one. Good afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. What's going on, fellas?
Oh, man, we certainly appreciate it, man. And just like Coach Quick said in the introduction, just give a little quick brief history here is that Ralph called me one day, Coach Quick, and said, hey, you ever heard about podcasting? I said, no. He said, you may want to take a look at it. And since then, we've been alive and well. And we had him on honoring Ralph when we did our 50th show. And somebody said, why 50? Because that's the name that he wore proudly across his chest at every level that he played. And then we would be remiss if we would not have him back on as we celebrate our 100th anniversary. So, Ralph, from myself, I want to thank you for sowing the seed, giving me the vision that we impact the people that we impact. So, again, we certainly appreciate that.
Well, congratulations on the 100th show, and it was there for 50 and now for 100, and saw that from the beginning, and wow, it's come a long way in a short period of time, and let's look forward to 200 and make sure we do better and bigger things in the future. So congratulations.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate that. Coach Quick, we'll go ahead and kick it over to you for the pick and pop.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sampson, first question for you tonight. The passion and willingness to always search for projects and investment opportunities to improve others' lives comes from where?
Well, I mean, the latter part of that question was to improve others' lives no matter what it is. I mean, you might not have a business deal and investment that goes well all the time, but you can invest in people, and if it just gives them, joy that day or that minute, and maybe they can see a light or plant a seed in them, that's really what life is all about for me. It's just helping others to be successful and being successful myself on a day-by-day basis. When my feet hit the ground after I wake up, make my bed and get up, and I'm ready to rock and roll to the days or weeks or whatever things I have to do. And I just want to be, a positive influence on anything I do with people or family or friends as well.
Yes, sir. I love it. Investment in people is big nowadays. And when you're investing your time, you want to see the fruits of your labor. Coach Goins, I see you standing on the 3-point line, so I'm going to kick this bounce pass out to you.
Well, I got to make sure my feet are behind that arc, man, because, sometimes that seems to be the problem in today's game. But with that, Ralph, you don't realize when I hear you say that and people say, make your bed up every day. Ever since I had the honor and privilege of meeting Ralph and I heard him tell that, to a youth group that he was speaking to one time, it really made me check myself, Coach Quick, to make sure that my bed was squared away every day, because that's your first victory, is making sure that you get up and you tighten that up. So there's not a day that passes since then. I don't know who's happier, my wife, that if I'm the last one out of the rack, that's squared away. So we certainly appreciate you sharing that. Now, from that, Ralph, you've also started the Ralph Lee Sampson Hope Foundation. And if you don't mind, if you can share with the listening audience the success of that venture.
Yeah, that's a part of the Sampson Family Foundation. So it's Ralph L. Sampson Senior Hope Fund, which is tied in with Rockingham Memorial Hospital and University of Virginia Hospital in their cancer area. So we raised over $350,000 probably to date for both of those institutions to help cure cancer, hit prostate and lung. We've got him 100% healthy we are now in his 10th year of remission and healthy. He still is on no medication whatsoever, and he's 85 years old. So you all want to support that, just go to www.sampsonfamilyfoundation.com and hit donate. And it'll go to either one of those institutions, and we'll keep fighting this battle. So that's how it came up with him, and we're so fortunate to have him still around in this world, and look forward to many more years with him. And God willing, we'll keep him healthy.
You know what? And hats off to what you and your family did, during that situation with your dad. It's just, as I look back on that, you were a trailblazer. You were always there. You put down what you were doing. You came home, and that speaks a lot. Coach Quick, that that one, people see. When I say superstars, people see people in different lights. But when you see somebody that I know firsthand do the things that he did to make sure that his father received the ultimate treatment that he could, and doing everything, and then be able to birth this. It's a wonderful thing. Also, Coach Quick, I don't know if you saw the episode when Ralph and his family was on the Family Feud doing. I don't know who was sharper, him or Steve Harvey.
I did see that. Yes, sir.
But both of them were clean as tacks. All right, Coach Q, I'll kick it to you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sampson, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. How did that slogan come about?
Yeah, that's been my motto for now probably at least 20 years. I was sitting in church one Sunday afternoon in Richmond, Virginia, and I was reading the Bible, and the minister was talking about ruling and reigning in life, and I'm like, okay, great. So just developing the company ideas, going through some things there, trying to hit a mission statement and a tagline. And, what a circle is a company, or Ralph Sampson Basketball, Sampson Basketball Academy, what's going to hold it all together? And in basketball and sports and life, you guys know in our jobs or in our household, or just helping youth or whatever, it takes a village, as they always say, but I call it a team to make someone successful. So I just started writing down in the back of the Bible, it takes teamwork. And then, what is the dream, whatever. So I had about 10 different ways to do it, but I ended up with it takes teamwork to make a dream work. And, you hear it all the time these days when people say that, but 20 years ago, you didn't hear it that much. But that's what I coined it. That's how it started. And it'll stay with me forever. And, I tell people all the time, who's on your team to be successful? If it's your parents, your doctor, your lawyer, your pastor, your cousin, your friends, your family, who's on your team to make it work? You can't have a whole lot of people on the team, because sometimes the team gets too heavy. You look at the NBA or college basketball, when you got a bad team or a bad coach or whatever, it destroys the team spirit and morale. But you got to have the right people on your team to be successful in life in general. So that's how it came about. And, I was sitting in church, like I said, one Sunday afternoon in Richmond, Virginia, and it came out of those principles about ruling and reigning in life. Yes, sir.
Mr. Sampson, it sounds like you kept that same team concept after your playing days with your everyday life. And I can certainly appreciate that, because being a part of a team, it's like it's balling that fist up. That's a team. There's no I in team, and I appreciate everything that you're doing right now.
Yeah, the great Kobe Bryant would say, "There's no I in team, but there's a me in team." So, start with me, but it's got to start with me. You start with me, and then you build a team around it. That's what he was able to do with the Lakers when he was out there playing in the NBA, and after his career was over as well.
Yes, sir. All right, Coach G, I see you. I'm kicking it over to you.
All right, man. You guys, y'all are doing y'all's thing, and I certainly appreciate that. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for a second. But who we have on celebrating our 100th episode is none other than NBA Hall of Famer, 1983 graduate of University of Virginia, and also the first player selected in the NBA draft in 1983 by the Houston Rockets. It's Mr. Ralph Sampson. And we'll be back after this quick break.
You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, this is Coach Goins along with Coach Quick and our very special guest via telephone, NBA Hall of Famer Mr. Ralph Sampson. Somebody said Ralph Sampson on Basketball More Than a Game. That's right. I didn't stutter. I didn't make any mistakes. It has been an honor and privilege to have the relationship and knowing Ralph over the course of years that I've had, and he is willing to step back in and be with us on our 100th anniversary, or excuse me, 100th episode. So with that, this Ralph, I got one for you. So you had the opportunity to be a guest speaker at the bicentennial celebration at the University of Virginia. How did you feel when you got that invitation to be able to go and to speak at, number one, such a prestigious university, and to do it on their bicentennial celebration?
I was on the West Coast when I got the call for that, but it was good to get that call, to be on the agenda, to at least say a few words to the audience, and also to be there on the lawn that Thomas Jefferson built, to say something about the University of Virginia. And then, the biggest thing for me was sitting in the audience before, I went up on the stage to speak. It was a long evening, and it was just, full of people, et cetera, et cetera. But to see the other speakers speak about University of Virginia, and some were descendants of Jefferson, someone with, the slaves. It was just a whole lot of stuff that was, really, really good to hear and really good to understand. And then I was able to go in the back room with the previous governor of Virginia, Katie Couric, Tina Fey, and a lot of the alumni were there that were, really, really, really prestigious alumni that were there. I got to reconnect with as well. And then, ironically, afterwards, I ended up staying at the Boar's Head Inn in Charlottesville, and I was sitting at dinner afterwards, and all the people that came in afterwards. So actually, it was the best time that I had, because I met people that I did not know, but also now that I found out what they do today, and then a lot of them are so powerful around the world. It became a really good networking opportunity for me to really connect with people and that are UVA grads and understand where they are, what they did, and how powerful that school is. And so it was a fun event, and I'm glad I was a part of it.
Excellent. We certainly appreciate you taking us down and walking down memory lane. So, Coach Quick, you may not know this because you're a Carolina guy, but I'm going to let this out. So when Ralph is talking about where he spoke, it's that is the original UVA. That is the original University of Virginia, where he was standing and looking down the lawn, and that's where he stayed, which is prestigious. And he might have been one of the first athletes, basketball players especially, to ever stay on the lawn when he was at UVA. So for what that's worth, that's a little bit of UVA history that you can put in your Carolina scrapbook. So with that, I see you in the paint. I don't know if you're working on to try to post Ralph up, but I'll kick it over to you.
Yeah, I certainly like to post Mr. Sampson up. He's standing at 7'4", so I don't know if I get the shot off. But Mr. Sampson, you have hosted the bracket breakfast of champions. Is that something that is coming back? And could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so that's come out with a friend of mine named Jimmy Miller. He actually started in Charlottesville, where it's a bracket breakfast, where the Monday before the announcement of all of the, you have the announcement on that Sunday of the NCAA 64 or 68 bracket, and then we have the breakfast that morning, and everybody fills out their bracket, and we have 4 or 5 moderators that we're talking about, each division of the bracket as well. Then I took it to Derek Wittenberg down at NC State. And a couple of years ago, we had it down there as well, which was the same thing, which was really, really powerful and strong and good, which was an amazing thing to get it there to help his nonprofit out as well. And we didn't do it, obviously over the last couple of years. And a couple of years ago, pandemic kind of stopped everything. And then last year they had it, and we didn't do it there because you don't want to get people together. I don't know if we'll have it this year or not. We haven't started planning anything yet, but you never know if we can do a safe, organized situation in either Charlottesville or North Carolina. Both of those young guys, or Jimmy Miller and Jerry Whitmer, will set that up. But it's something that's fun that people can get together, get up early, put their brackets in, compete against each other, win prizes, et cetera, et cetera. And, everybody loves March Madness, so it's fun to do.
Yes, sir. It sounds like fun. I would definitely be interested in being a part of that as well.
Yeah, we can get it. We can get a Tar Heel involved. It's not a problem. We'll give you a pass. We'll give you a pass.
I would hope so if you can get the Wolfpack involved.
Well, we'll get we'll get you involved. Yeah.
Okay, and hey, I noticed you didn't say anything about me being able to get that shot off over the second.
No, I left you alone. You were just dreaming. I left you alone. You were dreaming. That's all.
I love it. Coach G, I see you. I'm going to kick it back over to you.
Well, you know what? That's just the kind of guy that he is there, Coach Quick, to know that, he understands that, you're excited. It is the 100th episode, and he's not a dream killer. For him to plaster your ball up in the top of Carmichael, right? So, and when I say that, you know what I just thought about, Coach Quick? I thought about that. There's a clip in some of Ralph's highlights to where he flashes up and then he rolls to the basket and they throw a lob and he catches the lob and he dunks over James Worthy. So if you don't have that, I got to make sure that you get that. So here's my question, and as we move to in the paint, where we kind of get a little deeper in the session, Isaiah Thomas, a couple weeks back, on his show, came out and made some comments of how, Ralph, your game was before time and how it could transition into the player that you could be out on the court today. He was making comparisons to yourself as well as Giannis. In that, am I correct, or am I safe to say that if in today's game you may be the first $500 million, $600 million man?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, depending on how long I would have, come out of school, I probably would have came out early, more than likely in the day's market. I might not ever went to UVA, at some point, because the game is totally different. The body structures, strength-wise, are totally different. I mean, I was playing against grown men that, weighed 260, 270, and they were grown men, not coming out of high school or just coming out of college with one and done, right? So I had to stay and build my body, build my mentality, build my just overall view of the game so that I could go out and compete with those guys every night. But coming out, I mean, if I'd have, went to college once or twice, whatever, and got one Player of the Year award, I mean, you can only imagine what these guys get today. And then, my second contract, if I'd have played the way I did and stayed healthy, then you're talking about, max contracts and hundreds of millions of dollars for sure at that point in time. So it was great to, I got the text from Isaiah Thomas, and that he was doing that, and he sent me the video of it before he posted it. And it was, impressive to at least be compared with Giannis, the Greek Freak. He won the championship last year in Milwaukee. Look at how he's built his body, his mindset in the game, because he wasn't like that as a young kid. But he put a lot of work into his craft and his game and his mentality. And he goes to a low-market team, Milwaukee, which hadn't won a championship since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson did it in the 70s, and comes there after that period of time and wins the NBA title. And, he played phenomenally well, and I'm so proud of what he done. But again, Isaiah did that, so I really appreciate what he did.
You know what? That's I do too, because I know, and Coach Quick.
Yes, sir.
I seen our guest play this game, and
yes, sir.
And he played it at a high level, and he is due every honor and every accolade that he's received. And I'm gonna go ahead and step out here and say that if he was playing the game today, you better watch out, okay? Because because I'm tell you this, Coach Quick, I don't know if you knew this. They stopped Ralph from grabbing the side of the backboard and leaning over and dunking on people. Right? Just in case you didn't realize that that's that wingspan. But again, I certainly appreciate, Ralph, your honesty as it relates to that, and your transparency, because it is true. A lot of times people don't want to stop and give honor where honor's due. But a caliber player like Isaiah stepping up, making those comments is huge. Because it does need to be recognized. So with that, we're gonna step away with a quick break. We do have on NBA Hall of Famer Mr. Ralph Sampson, 1983 graduate of the University of Virginia, and we'll be back after this short break.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And for those of you who don't know, we are celebrating our 100th episode, and we have our very special guest on, NBA Hall of Famer, Mr. Ralph Sampson, along with our co-host, Coach Quick. And you may see a video clip on ESPN, Coach Quick posting up Ralph, and Ralph just let him dream. No, I'm just playing there. There's just that we were just kind of doing some hamming on the show a little bit earlier. So, Coach Quick, I'm going to kick it over to you for the name game.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sampson, a part of our show is the name game, and it's a big part of the show. So what we do is I throw out a few names to you, and you elaborate on those names for us.
Okay, not a problem. Let's go for it.
All right, first name, Sarah Sampson.
The best mother ever.
Yes, sir. Next name, Ralph L. Sampson Sr.
You know, married to my mother, so he's got to be the best father ever. But, you know, this sweetheart of a guy, and love him to death.
Yes, sir. Next name, Roger Burge.
Roger Berge, high school coach, again, like a father figure. He taught me the game of basketball and also how to, you know, hold myself to the highest esteem. He turned every leaf over that he could to teach me and make me grow. And, you know, when I need to dribble the ball to the court, he didn't say no. He just let me do it. And then he also made me practice it, you know, in practice. So, best coach ever.
Yes, sir. Next name, Terry Holland.
Again, there's a plethora of coaches that, you know, that are in my life, and Coach Holland is the second coach, and he obviously recruited me to UVA, and, you know, over the years became a father figure, you know, even after I finished playing him today, and I love him to death, and, you know, his family, his wife, Ann Holland, and his daughters are like a mother, my second family.
Yes, sir. Last but not least, Rodney McCray.
Yeah, Rod. I mean, we came in together to the NBA. I was number 1 pick. He was number 3. But we had played each other in college a couple years, Super Bowl Sunday, etc. And Rod would always say, "Hey, you know, you beat us in college, but you know, we knew we was all going. We were going to go to the Final Four, so we could take that loss, but it made us more hungry as well. But best teammate ever."
Yes, sir. Okay, yeah, and I'd like to elaborate on something that Coach G said in the last segment. I personally feel like if you played in today's game, and I was a young pup growing up whenever you was coming along, but I went back to watch some of your film. Man, you were an amazing talent, sir, and I feel like you would average 45 to 50 in today's game. And to compare you to Giannis is unbelievable. No disrespect to Giannis, but I don't think he can handle that rock or shoot it as well as you could. But he's certainly a monster. But, Mr. Sampson, it was a joy to see you play on your film that I got a chance to go back and see. And I got this question for you. Who was the best tandem, Twin Tower tandem? You and the Dream or Tim Duncan and David Robinson?
Oh, no, I mean, as you recall, it would have to be me and the Dream because David Robinson didn't, when they played the Rockets, and I wasn't on the team at that point in time. But I love David Robinson, I love what he does and who he is, but he didn't want anything of Hakeem Olajuwon in that championship series run. No. He had him in a popcorn machine, like left and right, and the shake and bake, and the Dream Shake was, you know, in rare form. So we'd have killed both of them. We'd have killed both of them.
I agree. All right, Coach G, I see you. I'm gonna kick it over to you.
I tell you what, man, what a what a great question, and what a heck of a daggone answer Ralph laid out there and said he had him in the popcorn machine. I tell you what a and you when you think back on that, how powerful was that? And I catch myself a lot of times, Coach Quick. I'll hit this and we'll move on. I'm sitting on YouTube and every time, and I'm sitting and all of a sudden I type in a R, then I type in a L, then a L, then the PH, and then for some unknown reason, I finish up with Sampson. I hit it, and then they'll come up and it says, highlights, and I'll click that thing and I'll go back. And I found myself over the course of the years with younger kids, they really don't stop and learn and appreciate and value the game. So what I try to do with when I'm around younger talent or younger kids is really show them, guys from the past and make them understand, why this person who is what made them impact the game. When you look at the Rouse Hall of Fame induction, I think Magic Johnson does a great job talking about the changing of the guard and how the evolution of the game changed when Ralph comes in or came into the league. And I think Ralph, this, and I'm sure you've heard hundreds of times. You changed the game of basketball as it relates to the big man. What you do facing the basket and not having your back to the basket. So we thank you for everything that you've done for the game of basketball. And again, it's no small feat. What you did in college may never be eclipsed again. You may be the last player that's won that Naismith Award 3 years in a row, which is an honor. So your body of work stands for itself. The man that you are stands for itself. So it kind of leads into our last couple questions here. Is we know that you've got a huge adventure coming on in Charlottesville. If you don't mind, tell our listening audience what I'm excited about, and I can't wait to partake in your new adventure.
Yeah, everyone out there. Yeah, we actually will be opening a restaurant in Barracks Road, right really close to John Paul Jones Arena, down in Barracks Road, coming in February. So stay tuned for the grand opening, but hopefully early February will happen. It's called the Ralph Sampson's American Tap House. We'll have some memorabilia. We'll have some games showing all the time. We'll have a lot of things going on there, so I'm looking forward to that. Not quite excited yet because of the, it should have been open a while ago, but due to pandemic and supply chain, all that, it kind of got backlogged a little bit, but it's under construction now, and hopefully early February it'll be ready to rock and roll. And the biggest thing we're doing there, everyone, is that, certain days, certain weeks, whatever, I work with the Boys and Girls Club in Charlottesville, and I'll be doing it in Harrisonburg as well. But some of the proceeds of this thing will go back to those different organizations that help kids in the areas that we love, Charlottesville and Harrisonburg. And so we'll do some fun stuff like that. We're doing potentially a Tony Bennett steak, or we'll do some fun things. And I'm looking forward to that. It should be fun, and we'll come see a game, have a couple cocktails, and enjoy the atmosphere of the past, but also bringing it to the present.
Wow. Coach Quick.
Outstanding. Yes, sir.
So you know what that means. You got to squirt some of that gas in that vehicle, slide on up, and then guess what?
We got to go hang out at the Ralph Sampson American Tap House.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna be there, dude. I'm gonna be like wallpaper, right? They'd be like, they'd be like, you going home? I'm like, yeah, I'm going home. But no, I'm excited, and I know Ralph is too. So, Coach Quick, I'll kick it over to you for your closing comments.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sampson, I would just like to say to you, it's been a pleasure to sit here and chop it up with you and have a conversation about life skills and success on our 100th show. We really appreciate you being on our 50th show, big fella, and then coming back and doing the 100. Just to be able to sit here and pick your mind about life, about hoops. It's just been a joy for me and a pleasure. And I just want to say thank you for taking out the opportunity in 2017 to speak with me on the telephone when you guys were at the Final Four. And I said to you that the basketball gods were going to shine down on us as we won that championship in 2017.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity, and I really appreciate you, and your game speaks for itself.
Thank you so much. So great.
Yeah. So and I appreciate that, Coach. Yeah. So Ralph, I'll start closing this out, and I'll kick it over you. But yeah, just oh man, where do I start? I'll say it this way, and I'll make this as brief as possible. As a young kid in North Carolina, growing up, I was not a Tar Heel fan. For some reason, there was this guy out of Harrisonburg, Virginia. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because you were running and you had your thumbs toward the sky. I don't know if it was because you had on the white wristbands. I don't know if it was just because you were a class act. But for some reason, there was something that just drew me to you. And I just, you were my guy. You were my favorite basketball player. A lot of people know that now. But again, through my walk, through my life, one of the greatest honors and privileges is being able to call you a friend. A lot of times people go through life and they can say, man, this is my favorite player, or have the honor and privilege to meet that person. I've done that, and it's gone well beyond just knowing you, and in that being able to travel together, break bread. We laugh, cried, the whole 9 yards, and in that allowing or sowing that seed into us in reference to the podcast. And now we hit our 100th episode. We're in 17 foreign countries. This past year, we missed only by 7 states for being in all 50 states. So in that, my friend, I say thank you for who you are, for what you do for your family, what you do for the citizens. And people don't realize this, Coach Quick, what Ralph Sampson does for individuals and the community. And I'm just not saying that because he's on the show, but what he does, he's allowed me as a man to sharpen my game, to make sure that I understand a network and understand how the round pegs go in and how to connect the dots. So with that, Ralph, I say thank you, and I'll kick it to you for your closing comments.
No, again, congratulations, you guys, on the 100th show. I'll be on anytime you need me, but definitely we'll do this again, and maybe, like I said, we'll do a show with you guys over at the Townhouse in Charlottesville. Be glad to do that. Maybe do something fun in 2022. Everybody out there, be safe with this COVID thing going on, and stay tuned for bigger things in 22. Congrats, guys.
We certainly appreciate it. Coach Quick, get us to the locker room.
Yes, sir. For Coach Goins, our special guest, 1983 graduate of the University of Virginia, NBA Hall of Famer, and co-host of the weekly podcast, Center Court, Mr. Ralph Sampson. And for myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the gym.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.